Paul Ruffell is the 2022 recipient of the Lieutenant Governor's Award for Distinguished Achievement in Consulting Engineering.
We were living in Holland in 1980, and the world economy was very poor. Projects were few and far between. A friend of mine said, "Paul, you've got to get to Canada because they're building things in the Arctic like you wouldn't believe." And it sounded exciting, sounded like I had the right kind of skills, having worked in the offshore engineering industry. There was a little ad in New Civil Engineer from a little company called EBA Engineering Consultants in some place called Edmonton. And I applied, got the job, made the move with my wife to Alberta.
The first major project that he worked on was the first deep water stationary exploration platform that was built in the Beaufort Sea.
We're in an area which in summer is an ocean, but in winter is the Arctic ice pack that moves, rotates around the North Pole to build a structure that can resist the forces that ice would bring on that structure. Had never been done before.
Later on, we became involved in an evaluation of the deeper material below seabed. This particular installation and the coring project that Paul looked after was the very first physical verification of the existence of permafrost below the seabed. And so there were a lot of firsts there. And that all happened probably in his first year in Canada.
He actually went to our controller at the time and said, "We're going to charter this boat and do some work in the Alaskan Beaufort Sea. It costs $50,000 a day. We needed to guarantee that there would be 60 days worth of work." And he didn't tell the controller that we didn't have the 60 days booked. But Paul just thought, it'll happen. And sure enough, by the end of the summer, we had well more than the required days.
In 1990, it all stopped. The wheels fell off, the whole industry gave up on Arctic oil and gas. So I had skills in offshore engineering and site investigation. I didn't have those skills that were going to take my career to the next step.
After 10 years in the Arctic, Paul moved into waste management.
You know, with Laidlaw, I got into people management. I had 5 landfills that directly reported to me. And if you can motivate people to work at a landfill, I think you can motivate people to do anything. I learned how to encourage people to do their jobs, but I also learned about financial management and making sure that a business is profitable.
After 4 years at Laidlaw, Paul returned to EBA, holding various engineering and leadership roles.
Even as president, you still have to do technical work. How else then do you understand your colleagues? How else then do you understand your clients? When I moved to the president role, I said I didn't want to lose that relationship with people. I would find a reason to wander into people's offices just to have a one-on-one conversation with them. Management by walking around is just a powerful tool for me. And the idea of going to the Christmas party was not only meeting those people again, but you get to meet their spouses as well. And I got to tell you, the spouses sure would tell me what was going on. I needed that, otherwise how do I make decisions? You listen to your clients and to your accountant. Surely, to goodness, you should listen to the engine of the machine, the people that do the work. Our company at that point was 30 years old. We came up with these 6 core values. Those are the things that will define us.
It was a time when the economy was good and employees had options to work elsewhere, and I think it created something special that people wanted to be a part of. One of the things he did that was unique was he set about to develop that next leadership team.
We looked for people that were not only clever technically, but also had a spark of something else in them.
Paul was instrumental in involving our staff to support the efforts for us to do some good in other parts of the world, not only funding, but technical engineering.
We've made a decision, we're going to Ethiopia.
We really wanted to send somebody to Ethiopia to be a part of that.
So that they would have that remarkable experience of using their skills and changing somebody's life.
It was going to be a one-year thing, and it ended up being transformational. We're involved in Ethiopia for 15 years. And then it just grew. Then our employees got involved in raising funds. It was like the values. It was something that brought everybody together for a common purpose.
As president from 2001 to 2014, he led EBA through its largest period of growth and eventual acquisition by Tetra Tech in 2010.
EBA was getting courted, I would say, by companies from all around the world. And I can remember him coming to the board one time and he said, I'm getting tired of these phone calls. So he said, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like us to sit down as a board and come up with a list of 10 criteria. This is what our acquirer must be like. I can remember him saying, no one's going to tick all these boxes, so there's no acquisition happening here. When somebody would phone up and if he didn't tick the boxes, he'd say, well, I don't think we're quite a fit. And then Tetra Tech comes along. We get together with them and said, oh my, these guys ticked all the boxes.
He was the quarterback. He was pivotal in leading that, both from the strategy right through finding the partner that would give employees the best opportunity and the best opportunity for EBA to succeed in the long term.
He was also probably the best client maintenance person I have ever worked with.
We were in a boardroom. Everybody was sort of talking over each other. It was getting a little testy and it looked like it could potentially end up in a litigation or a claim. Paul just simply stood up, cleared the room, kept the one other key person. Within a few hours after that, we had basically resolved the issue. That was a win-win for both. It was the calm and sort of capable nature of Paul to sort of take control of a situation like that, add his level of trust and capability to be able to work with a client, cut through some of the complex issues, and develop a solution.
This concept of having a relationship with your client that's more than monetary, that is actually a caring relationship, it gives you the leave to do a good job. It also gives you the leave to impart bad news. But frankly, I don't do my best work unless I can create that relationship.
Paul served on the CEA board from 2000 to 2004 and 2013 to 2016. He was also elected to the ACEC board in 2013 and served as its vice chairman.
What CEA does best, it allows us to speak with one voice to government, to regulators, to client groups, and find ways to serve them better by being a stronger organization.
Back in 2006, remember those really good days where everything was rosy? Well, we in Alberta found that we couldn't hire enough experienced engineers. So Paul and Rick Prentice approached the board and suggested to them that we need to recruit overseas. They chose England because there's no cultural difference. We had, I think, 12 firms participate. They're fierce competitors, these engineering firms, but they came together as one to recruit engineers for the betterment of the industry in Alberta. I'm sure that there's people in the audience today who were one of those recruits. Paul always made things fun. Back in the day at our gala, when Paul was president, we had a medieval theme. It shocked me to no end that Paul came dressed in full medieval gear. It was great.
I put Paul in that league of extraordinary gentlemen. Paul's greatest contributions are really a career of professionalism that has been to the benefit of EBA, Tetra Tech, CEA, and our industry. Paul promotes what we should be, and that is professionalism, integrity, and trust.
Consulting engineering is all about serving clients that have problems, and if you're a problem solver, it's the best place that you can possibly be.